daw ako'y hindi tumagal dahil ako isang mahirap lang.
Ito ang pinakatakot sa pinakakamot na bulak sa bilog ng lupa.
Ano ko na po yung resulta?
Ano? Kaya tanggap ka.
Ang tao to ay kuintindi kung ano tawag ng waiver.
Hindi ako takot mo. Mahusgahan lang ang tao.
Wala sa baho sa Panginoon sa mga
Sa kadako sa kalibutan, makatultol gyapon sila silang salag.
I will show you something if you send naman.
Nak, narinig mo ako? Wait lang, ma. Para kaming basura dito, may tinapon lang.
Sapagkat ang araw na to ay inilaan na para sa iyo at habang buhay ay laging sumasayo.
Wala, bota na si Mrs. ngayon eh. Bukas ka na lang.
Handa ka na ba sa ating showdown?
Girl, I was born ready.
Hindi man to bata nga lagawan.
Happy man ka. Happy ka.
Wala kalimutan.
Ano kaya nangyari sa mga tao, no? Saan kaya sila nagpunta?
Galit na galit at malaking dragon na may diwata na pinangko.
Kon, ayaw nagtubuhata balik, okay?
Mabdos ko.
Sa? Pag-sure, oy! Asa ko na nabi?
Magpapatuloy ako. Pwede mo ba akong samahan?
Binenta naman kasi.
Aabot din tayong lahat kahit iba-iba tayo.
Kuya, laro.
Sabi nga ayoko!
Kinakausap mo na naman ba yung mga laruan mo?
You should really catch up.
It's always been our goal to understand not just the needs of the industry in terms of development, in terms of programs, but to really address the structural changes that needs to be instituted. We need government's intervention. We need to work together, private sector and government. We have to work together so that we can elevate our industry. And these policies are needed for us to thrive. And that's the reason why FDCP has been working with Korea, has been working with Singapore, has been working with Malaysia. We're understanding their best practices and understanding how we can adapt it to our local industry.
Our lab is an Asian lab, and the way it's a little bit different from, say other labs outside is that we are not just labs that concentrate on films that has to go to these big A-list festivals. We also want projects that can actually work within the Asian region, and so they're not like always the art house kind of films, but they're also kind of like, whether it be comedy or horror that can work in a wider context of Asia is something that we are also very active about.
And not thinking that you're making a film for the international market. Make the film for what you believe in. Actually, those surprises are films that were not made to win Oscars. Do your films and then it will go where it should go.
Of sharing, I think, can help you grow, get more confidence, and besides make connections. For me, this kind of collaborative process is very interesting, and I think that's something, as you said, the two of you earlier, which has a kind of a very interesting impact, indeed also, because I think indirectly it does help the local regional film industry to be stronger also.
As a society, we realize with this pandemic that we cannot live in isolation. And the film industries and the TV industries cannot also be in isolation. We really need to sort of like find alliances with all the different industries that are affected and how we all come together to sort of like push our agendas forward. And the key agenda is how to have life resume again the way we had pre-pandemic.
International Film Industry Conference Online 2021 is presented by Film Development Council of the Philippines in partnership with Full Circle Lab Philippines, ASEAN Rock Film Partnership, supported by International Film Commission Partners, Film Philippines Office, Korean Film Council, National Film Development Corporation Malaysia, Singapore Film Commission, and the National Federation of Motion Pictures and Contents Associations, Thailand. International partners, Cannes Next of Marché du Film Festival de Cannes, Hubert Balls of International Film Festival Rotterdam, Netflix, Purin Pictures, ific Lab, Southeast Asia Pacific Audiovisual Archives Association, Torino Film Lab. Local partners, ABS-CBN Film Restoration Sagip Pelikula, KTX, Philippine Film Archive, TBA Play and TBA Studios, Upstream PH, Viva Communications Inc., Livestream partner, Digital IC3 Productions. For more details on ific, please check our official social media accounts. Facebook page www.facebook.com/ificphofficial, Twitter @ificphofficial, and Instagram ificphofficial. Thank you for joining us today. Sit back and relax as we are about to begin. The International Film Industry Conference, or ific, first conducted by the Film Development Council of the Philippines, or FDCP, in 2017, aims to bring together international and local experts to share and discuss the latest trends, opportunities, platforms, and cooperation globally that producers and filmmakers can explore for the development, production, and distribution of their projects, with the intent of crossing beyond local borders. The ific strives to continue the synergy of the members of the industry by featuring experts and professionals this September 2021. This event will give a platform to further explore opportunities, challenges, and new norms in the film industry as we push and thrive to move forward in a global pandemic. As the uncertainties brought by the pandemic continue to restrict people indoors, film and television production companies have been developing their own streaming platform services, with content being made with the intent of releasing online without plans of a big screen release. But how would this affect the cinemas? Can cinemas and streaming platforms coexist? In this session, we learn more from the platforms and cinemas themselves on how they see the future of releasing films to the public. Our moderator for this panel is a film producer. His filmmaking is shaped by his passion for socio-civic issues and Philippine arts and literature. Having traveled extensively to festivals in Busan, Torino, Cairo, Warsaw, Tokyo, Bogota, among others, his films seek to give cultural minorities a voice in world cinema. His filmography includes Alvin Yapan's Ang Panggagahasa kay Fe and Ang Sayaw ng Dalawang Kaliwang Paa, Peterson Vargas's Too Cool to Be Forgotten and How to Die Young in Manila, Loy Arsenas's Ang Larawan, and Kip Obanda's Liway. He has participated at the Rotterdam Lab, Berlinale Talents, Locarno Open Doors, Tribeca Film Institute Network, La Fabrique Cinema du Monde, Yaves Ties That Bind, and Cannes Cinefundacion Atelier. Locally, his films have won awards at the Gawad Urian, Metro Manila Film Festival, FAMAS, Film Academy of the Philippines, Cinemalaya, Cinema One, Q Cinema, and other organizing bodies. Let's join in the discussion about the future of film exhibition with Alemberg Ang.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight, even though it's at 10 p.m. And we're here to talk about alternative forms of distributing our films. With us tonight are our three speakers and experts in the field of film distribution. Allow me to start with Giancarlo Viscara, who is the head of business development and operations of KTX. Before assuming his role for KTX, Gian, a journalism graduate, was a seasoned PR guy with more than 15 years of experience in the field and a writer and editor to a number of websites and dailies. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Giancarlo Viscara.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I hope we can share our experiences to you and you get something from all of us. Good evening.
Our next speaker is Don Monteverde. He is one of the most distinguished film producers in the Philippines. For over 3 decades, he has been serving on the board of directors for Regal Entertainment, the oldest and largest production company in the country. In 2003, Dondon co-founded Reality Entertainment Incorporated with the vision to set new standards for Filipino films in its narrative, production, and technological aspects. His brand has been internationally recognized with films like On the Job, which was featured at the 2013 Cannes Directors Fortnight, 2019 Best Picture winner by Buzz, as well as the Aswang Chronicles film series, which made history as the first ever film in the Philippines to be shot entirely using green screen technology. Coming from their recent win at the Venice Film Festival for OTJ2, let's welcome Don Monteverde.
Hi. Hi, good evening to everyone. Thank you for having me here. I hope I can answer all the questions that you may have and share, some experiences that I had through the years. No, thank you again for having me.
Our third panelist has worked in numerous capacities in the film industry, and is a 45-year veteran of the film community, both in the Philippines and in the United States. He started his career as the script supervisor for Mike De Leon's film Itim. He then moved to the US and worked for 10 years as executive director of marketing for Fine Line Features, the art house division of New Line Cinema, where he worked on such film projects as the Oscar-winning Shine, Gus Van Sant's My Own Private Idaho, Robert Altman's The Player, Jane Campion's An Angel at My Table, and David Cronenberg's Crash. He also worked as a freelance marketing consultant for the Blair Witch Project. In 2013, he was named president of PBA Studios, the production outfit behind such acclaimed films as the game-changing blockbuster General Luna, I'm Drunk, I Love You, Birdshot, Women of the Weeping River, and Goyo, Ang Batang General. Let's all welcome Mr. Ting Nebrida.
Good evening to all. Good evening to all.
So we've learned a little bit about our panelists for tonight. We're here to talk about the future of releasing films to the public. You know that the pandemic, the Philippines is one of the few countries who has not yet opened its cinemas since the start of the pandemic. And so a lot of film production and distribution companies have shifted their focus already. So this is something we would like to learn more about tonight. And so I would like to encourage everybody to send in your questions. We'll try to incorporate it in our talk, but at the same time, at the end of this whole panel, we'll also give more time for the questions. Okay, but just keep sending them along. So I'd like to start by asking our panelists to introduce the platform that you have started or your companies have started, and maybe share a little bit what sets it apart from what is already in the market. Let's start with Gian for KTX.
Okay, so KTX is a platform, basically providential lahat no nangyari with KTX. It's basically, aside from being a streaming platform, it seems like a fan site. Everything, all the decisions that we've done in the past year that we have KTX was basically driven by the fans. They dictate our fate as a platform, even the shows that we do. So aside, it's not that platform that you have all the content. Basically, we try to accommodate and have different offerings to very different niches, because fans basically we try to offer that to different niches. So parang ganon. That's how we see KTX. It's a fan site. Incidentally, there's a streaming platform, a concert platform, because fans ask for it. So a fan site with all those features.
I see. How about Sir Dondon? What can you say a little bit about? Can you tell us a little bit about Upstream?
Yes, well, for Upstream, it was born out of this pandemic, no? Because as a producer of films, it's been tough that lockdown from March, no. So no cinemas were it's available to actually play our movies, no. Just so happened that we have a lot of movies that we finished, and syempre ang daming nakabitin na pera, di ba? So actually, my partner and I, Eric Mati, actually tried to figure out things. And during we had a partnership with Globe Studios. Now we're doing films together. So we took that opportunity, knowing that they have a very strong infrastructure behind them. We actually offered to actually partner on doing a transaction on demand platform, to at least cater to not just the movies we do, but also to cater to other producers, so that they may have a platform to actually showcase their content. So of course, it's not just movies that we want to do. We right now actually to even doing other contents. Like live concerts. We've done like the Glastonbury concert recently. Then we did sporting events. So right now it's really, a platform for all content creators. No, they are very welcome to actually come on, basically showcase what they have. No, what's good about this is, we're now able to at least showcase to the global community, especially to our OFW kababayans abroad, which is our main targets. Because, this is one way for them to actually reconnect now with their roots. So, actually, we're happy that, this is now available, and, we've launched with Q Cinema first, and after that, we launched the MMFF 2019 edition here on this platform, and we're happy with the results. So we can do to partner with other entities. No? We also partnered with Universal to actually showcase their movies also on this platform to actually, at least give the local audience still a taste of Hollywood with the absence of cinema. So that's where we want to bring this platform to give our creators a chance to actually play their content on this platform.
So Ting, I'm really saddened with the news of Cinema 76 closing down. I've had such many wonderful memories about your micro cinema, both as a film producer and as an audience member. So I'm curious to learn how TBA is shifting its focus, especially with screening independent films.
Well, I wouldn't say that we've shifted our focus, but obviously, we are still hoping to reopen Cinema 76 at some point because, as you know, for many years, for at least the last 4 or 5 years, we've been open to playing all the independent films, and we're open to all producers, filmmakers, of, you know, from all the festivals and everything. We're just totally open. But in this case, kasi, after the pandemic, we started the streaming sites, and right now we're just focused on our titles muna. So what we have like the YouTube channel. I think we have about 15 titles there. We've produced so far mga 20, almost 30 titles no, in the last 6, 7 years. And then so doon sa YouTube channel, we have them there. We also have yung TBA Play, and we've started that just recently. We have about 7, 8 titles there of our own. And also, we have Netflix. Netflix, of course, we've sold it to them. So we also have about 7 or 8 titles there. So ganun lang. And of course, for us, it's a wait and see situation because what we'd like to open is for us to reopen Cinema 76.
I see. So Gian, I remember reading in one of your social media posts that KTX was actually on the brink of being shut down until a little known digital series saved it. And you mentioned about it being a fan site. Not that I'm being self-serving, but can you share a little bit about this and what does this say about the Filipino content, during the pandemic?
Tama naman, Alem. Kasi double whammy ang nangyari sa KTX. The pandemic and then the shutdown of ABS-CBN. So in August, we were told that KTX will be shut down. But Star Cinema during that time was already scheduled to have the finale fan conference of Hello Stranger. It's set already. So I said to Enrico, I told Enrico, who was my former boss, before. So sabi ko, Enrico, I don't think we can still do Hello Stranger because we're shutting down. Sabi ni Enrico, hindi pwede, na-approve na namin, ganito, ganyan, naka-list na, naka-schedule na. And then the CFO of Star Cinema and the managing director, si Direk Olive, said, why not we try to revive KTX? Incidentally, ang idea lang during that time was, sige nga, try natin. I'm sure titignan, wait and see, gawin lang natin ng Hello Stranger. Let's see. I remember the mandate during that time was, sige, tignan natin hanggang December. If you can recoup the investment of maintaining KTX, then we continue with it. Pero ang sinabi talaga, 3 months, let's see. But with Hello Stranger having that phenomenal ticket sold for that event, naging tuloy-tuloy na. Kasi we sold. During the time, remember, hindi pa sanay ang mga Pilipino na bumili ng tickets for an event or for anything digital. Hindi pa sanay. But with the outcome of Hello Stranger, parang everyone was inspired to do something. So, sunod-sunod na. So, totoo, sinasabi ko talaga, the fans saved KTX. It was not deliberate on our end to do KTX, but the fans basically supported it, and now we've hosted 100 plus movies and 100 plus concerts on KTX because of the fans. I don't even say na deliberate talaga, nagkataon lang na nandito kami, swerte kami, we were there, we had this content to jumpstart KTX. Small and then palaki ng palaki. So there.
And incidentally, I was the one who produced Hello Stranger. So I just want to bring that
Thank
up.
you for saving KTX, and Hello Stranger.
Now for Dondon, so first of all, congratulations on OTJ. We've been hearing rave reviews both from international and local audiences, and of course the Best Actor win for John Arcilla, which is a first, no, for the Philippines. I don't know if I think it's even for Southeast Asia. It's a first. How can Upstream, because you mentioned about Q Cinema and things like that, how do you think Upstream can help, let's say, local independent art house cinema or independent films with their distribution?
Well, alam mo naman Alemberg before, di ba? Pag when we had cinemas back then, pre-pandemic time, no? Parang, pag your movie doesn't make money on the first couple of days, they take you out cinema already. Di ba? And with that, you lose the chance actually of, trying to get, your profits back. No, at least right now with a streaming platform, we can readily say that, you can come here and actually put your platform there as long as, you promote. Diba? At the same time, we can give it a longer life than, what you used to have, and then also to top it off with, getting a global audience but at the same time, no? I think that's a big help already, for a lot of independent cinema makers. Dati, we're used to just showing it in the local theaters, but now we've widened that distribution outlet, no, for a lot of filmmakers and content creators, no. So not just, later on, when cinema comes back, you still get the cinema, but you can pivot back, do the same as, showing it on the streaming platform and get that global distribution outlet, no, na para to show your content. So it gives a lot of profit center for the producers, no, especially for filmmakers to get their investments back, to produce more, no, and to create more, no. So that's, I think, a big advantage having a platform like this.
So I think most of your sites are like pay-per-view, right? Like video on demand. What then sets the films or even the concerts or the shows that you show apart from what's already out there, especially if, let's say, you have streaming sites where you only pay a subscription fee and you don't need to pay for every film or every movie that you want to watch. No, so why would Filipinos now want to pay something that they can just pay a subscription for and have better options or other options rather?
Well, that's a bit of a tough answer, no? Kasi syempre you can never dictate naman what the Filipinos will really want to watch, no? But then, what's good about this platform is, the content creators have the power to actually create their own pricing. No, unlike before, no? Parang you go to cinemas, you have to pay 250, 300, that's it, diba? Right now, you can think you can sell your movie for 100, if you can sell your movie for 150, at least right now you give the audience more chances. It's cheaper for them to actually watch it, no. At the same time, right now we've been promoting it, no. At least with the technology now, no. All you have to really do sometimes is just purchase one ticket, and the whole family can actually watch it at home already. So these are the kinds of offer naman that you don't get before, no. During you only had the cinema. So I think these are advantages that you will enjoy moving forward.
How about say for TBA Play thing? What can you say about like what sets it apart from the other streaming sites that's already out there?
Well, I can't say there's anything unique about it except that our films can be watched on our sites, no? And obviously, if they miss them, we afford them the opportunity to watch them there. And yun nga, no? I mean, going back kasi to the cinematic experience that we all miss, no? Because the kind of films that we used to make, at least for TBA, the historical epics, Luna, Goyo, even Bonifacio, they were really meant for the big screen. So that's what cannot be duplicated, when people watch sa mga laptop nila. And it's sad nga, I think some films deserve to be seen on the big screen, I mean, at this stage, and it's not just here in the Philippines, but elsewhere. I can't imagine people watching an epic, let's say, Gone with the Wind or Ten Commandments on a cell phone or even a small laptop. That's not going to be the same thing, So ang suggestion ko talaga to people when, cinemas are open, please patronize and go to the cinemas because really there's a big difference, and then, after you watch it to cinemas, that's when you can come in and catch up by watching it on the streaming sites. So in our case, nasa streaming sites, if they missed it, they should just go there and watch these films. Okay, but I think that's why we opened the cinema in Cinema 76 because even if it's not a big cinema, at least it affords them the chance to sit in a dark place and enjoy as close an experience to a big cinema. But because wala na namang mga cinerama, but I think I'd like to encourage a return to cinemas. Yeah,
Gian,
that's my.
maybe you can. Oh, yes. Gian, maybe you can share a little bit also about your experience with KTX and what makes it apart, aside from the fact that you mentioned that it is a fan-driven site, about the things that you actually show on KTX. Ooh.
Yeah,
Gian,
sorry.
I think you're okay. Sorry,
Yes, yeah. So hi guys. So I guess sa tatlong platforms na nandito, we're basically offering transactional VOD. Lahat kami transactional, not subscription. So basically, I always say, your relationship with KTX or platforms is basically one night stand. You don't have to maintain it. You just go there when you want to watch a movie. And on KTX also, it's always the producer is the king, the same way that the market is the king. Kasi on KTX, we're flexible enough to have different price points, different duration per movie. If the producers say, 3 hours lang kami 3 hours, 3 times a day, we can accommodate that kung 24 hours, kung 48 hours. So basically, depende sa producer kung paano sa tingin nila mamonetize nila the best way possible yung content nila. We're there to help them do that. And then, hindi namin tinitignan kung ilan ba mabibenta kung ganitong show. Ito, mga estudyante, mag-film fest kami. We're willing to go that extra route because we know that we're capturing a market that hindi naman magkakaroon ng chance in the old pre-pandemic times. Hindi naman sila makakuha ng buta sa sinehan, etc., those kids. And on KTX, we want that to give the younger filmmakers that chance so that they could be inspired to continue doing content. So that's how we do things on KTX. Yeah.
And I think, based on my experience, like you mentioned nga, the Hello Stranger fan event, and I've been to some of the ABS-CBN restoration, that you actually have the actors come talk about the film before. So how does that affect or drive audiences to your platform?
It's very deliberate that at the very least we try to make an event out of a single viewing experience because KTX started off as an event platform. So we try to basically isama yon, pinapelikula yan. If we could do upselling, kumbaga may special features, we try to give that. And we want to mimic yung mga premiere nights wherein people could interact, sabay-sabay tayo na nanonood for that movie. Kasi that's how we are. We're very communal and we're very fan-driven. Gusto natin yung nakikipagchismisan habang nanonood. for online. So we give that to the audiences because we acknowledge and we tap into the fans within everybody.
Dondon, for Upstream, do you also have something like that? Especially if, let's say, you have Q Cinema or MMFF, do you also try to recreate the festival experience for them, for the audiences?
Well, it's really hard to recreate the festival scene no, on the streaming forms, no? Kasi iba talaga, sabi nga ni Bing, di ba? Parang iba talaga sa cinema, no? But then at least right now with the current situation, syempre we can't do that, no? But eventually, I also believe naman that, kahit matapos tong pandemic ito, I think hindi rin lahat babalik pa rin, di ba? Takot, pero syempre we're rooting na makabalik ang cinema. Of course, dyan tayo nang galing, no? So, right now we're trying to simulate, no? I think technology will be the one that will dictate it na lang later on to actually simulate it. No, but we've started the first phase at least, no? We've done the wire than the talk by at least creating it for the audience to see. No, we'll try to simulate at the best we can. No, maybe later on, no, when technology gets better, then we can actually be better. No, with gumaganda na naman ang mga television sets. Gumaganda rin naman ang mga stick ilagay dyan sa mga TV na yan. No? So I think big help on technology moving forward to actually simulate it.
How about I'm interested as a producer. I'm interested to know what are Filipino streaming now. I mean, at the start of the pandemic, because the filmmakers have not been producing. We've been watching a lot of K-dramas or the Thai BLs, but now that more Filipinos are being able to come up with content, what are Filipino streaming now, or what are mabenta in your sites? What are appealing in your sites?
So, for us sites, no, I think the biggest success was that movie of Globe Studios, no, which is in Fangirl, no. So I think they would not. I firmly still believe that the audience here are not really the masses pa. Diba? So eventually you have to grow that, moving forward, no, with Fangirl, we were able to sell about 80 to 90,000 tickets during the festival, which is for us as a first step, no, maganda, for the film festival, kasi we were able to actually see which one works and which one doesn't work, no. So we're able to see what type of movie really what really flourished during that time, no. So I think during that time we kind of saw that Fangirl was a runaway winner, no. Eventually when we go on a longer talaga, no, I think you have to grow that audience, even for the masses. Siguro right now medyo mahal pa for them kasi syempre they have to pay for the internet, they have to pay for hopefully later on nga, di ba, it will change, no? It will change, no? Towards the better, so that we can actually showcase a more diverse content, no, for a lot of people to watch. Kasi like I say, ang audience talaga ang hari on what they want to watch, di ba? So we're here just to give them actually the choice. Tama rin, di ba? At least right now on a transactional basis, you're not forced to actually watch something. You have to pay every month. At least you only have, sabi nga ni kanina, di ba, ni Gian, di ba, you can have a one-night stand for every content that you want to watch. Diba? So you as a producer have the responsibility of making sure that the price range that you put there is something they can afford for now.
How about for TBA Play thing? Are most of the people watching fans already of these films, or there are new people watching, and then which films are the ones that are more mabenta compared to others?
Well, versus watching, hindi ito yung mga typical natin na nanonood, no? I think a lot of them are younger. And so apart from the obvious titles that, Luna and Goyo, the young people are watching our films na yung I'm Drunk, I Love You, which is yung kay Paolo Avellino and Maha. And then also Write About Love with Miles Ocampo. So yung mga ganong storya, ganong, love stories are the ones that are popular with them. And of course, it's a natural thing, and we're happy that they're coming to watch these films on our sites. So there's room for everybody. I mean, for everyone of different kinds of tastes. Hindi lang yung historical, but obviously the more mainstream ones. So.
And how about in KTX? What are the more mabenta in your site?
For KTX, it's very obvious that we don't have the casual fans already. We have the rabidest of fans. It's very obvious with with the top selling titles on KTX. For example, Game Boys, Hello Stranger, Anak ng Match Dancer, and Lockdown is the biggest selling titles on KTX, and Love or Money. So basically, it's very obvious that there's a niche number of fans that's on KTX. Even the concerts, it's very obvious. If you have the rabidest of fans, you're sure to have a hit. The casual fans, if you're an artist or your title has casual fans, it's most probably would have a lukewarm reception. So on KTX, it's very deliberate that we target the most rabid of fans to sell a show, to sell a content. Because pag casual fans, you go to SVOD. Yung intayin mo kung ganito lalabas, etc. etc. But on KTX, you cater to the rabidest of fans. Yun ang malinaw sa amin. Whether it's older or younger, kunwari the concerts of the icons, we sell more than those people na nasa gitna kasi their fans are busy working, or the younger na makakahingi pa sa mga magulang nila. So kaya malinaw na malinaw sa amin, it should be a fan event. Yeah.
So I'm also curious because I think both Dondon said like you have like a slew of reality films already from the past, and then TAB is also showing their films, and then ABS has the ABS-CBN restoration. Are also old films? Is there also a market for old films? Or they're really more interested in new content?
I'll answer for KTX. Currently, we have Barber's Tales and Cleaners na reissue from years ago or last year or whatever. And it's very encouraging that many people with following, the IP has a following for Cleaners and Barber's Tales. Para kang naglalabas ng bagong pelikula. I don't know if it's because it's timely or something, but you celebrate the IP, and people celebrate the IP because they are being reminded of the enjoyment that they've experienced years ago when they saw it in the cinema, or maybe they missed it or whatever. Pero malaki. It's very encouraging. Yung maski na yung mga restored titles, lalo na yung mga minsan nga mas malaki pa yung kinikita ng mga hindi masyadong hit na pelikula. For example, Paano Kita Ibigin of Regine and Piolo didn't do well during the time that it went to the cinemas, but on KTX, it's a number one restored title. Maybe because they didn't catch it in the cinemas before, or because Regine had a concert on KTX, so sanay na yung mga Regine fans on KTX to watch on KTX. Parang ganon.
How about does Upstream show old reality titles?
We actually tried mga older films, no. Syempre, sa amin kasi if you're a transactional video on demand platform, it will be better talaga to showcase new ones, no. And that's our goal naman, no, is to really show new content. Diba, not more of the old ones, no. But then, of course, it's welcome rin, no. I mean, it has its fan following naman if you have those old ones come back in, no. But then, attraction nakikita namin talaga the new ones are the one really attracting more audiences when they watch it on our platform.
I see. Now, as a independent film producer, like me, I would be very very much interested to learn about sharing and profit schemes of your sites. Like, do you give minimum guarantee? Is there profit sharing? Is it exclusive, non-exclusive? All these terms of and conditions for for having our film screened. Maybe you can share a little bit about what happens in your sites.
Yeah. So
Dondon, maybe we can start with you. Yeah.
yeah. So for us, we usually give a 65-35 sharing scheme. No, usually the 35 goes to the platform and 65 goes to the producers. No, so we've stuck with that naman. No, so that it gives producers or filmmakers a bigger chance of recouping. No, at least nandiyan kami sa ano na yun, no? Sa structure na yun for now.
Same with KTX, we offer 65-35 revenue share in favor of the producer. As per exclusivity, well, hindi naman namin impose. In fact, kasi we want the producers to sell, so more chances of winning, kumbaga, with the more platforms, or depende rin sa producers, kung gusto nila na solo lang sa'yo kasi mas madali mag-promote ng isa lang platform, okay lang din. So, there.
How about TBA? Will you be considering inviting other filmmakers to share their content in TBA Play, or for now you're more focused just on your films?
It's just TBA, but definitely it's in the plans, to open the doors and to get more filmmakers be a part of us, Yun. So just like when we had for the TBA streaming sites. Okay.
So we have a question now from Rona May Laliana. How can local streaming platforms or online festivals take care of their filmmakers against piracy?
Siguro, I want to answer that, no, because I've been in the for so long, no. Every filmmaker talaga really cares about their content not being pirated, no. But during time immemorial pa talaga, kahit may sinihan pa before, piracy was there already.
Yeah.
This I want everyone to know. It's been a fight. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng dalawang body dyan right now to fight piracy. It's not because, when streaming came in, when they formed that to fight piracy during the time when theaters were working. Diba? It so happens right now na, because of, itong binuo na itong mga streaming platforms sa Philippines, biglang lumaki ulit yung issue about piracy. Maybe sa piracy na yan, dapat tulong-tulong lang talaga tayo, I mean, to fight it, you have to fight it together. Hindi mawawala yan kasi may mga talagang masasamang tao talaga na magpa-pirate ng pelikula mo. But at the end, we still believe there are a lot of honest people who would like to pay for the things that they enjoyed properly. Kasi I don't think there is a foolproof plan to fight against piracy all over the world. Even the A-listers in Hollywood, you would see their movies being pirated the next day after it has been shown on theaters or it's been shown on their streaming platform. So I think I think it's crucial talaga na we should guard each other when it comes to this, as filmmakers. Bantayan natin ang content natin, make sure to report it to the property so that they can take out action. Siguro ang wish ko lang is sana magkaroon tayo ng stricter laws to actually punish people who would pirate content, not just on the streaming platforms but later on pagkat bumalik yung cinema. Sana stricters, mas mabilis natin paparusahan yung tao na yun para lalong para medyo umiwas na sila ng konti from pirating, movies or content.
Yeah, I agree with that. There should be deterrents, yung mga ganon, bigger penalties, bigger fines for those who are caught. Kasi talagang no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, there will always be people out to pirate your film. And it's true, as Dondon said, kahit nung mga panahon pa, mga 70s pa, talagang mga tao pumunta sa sinehan, they record it, and then the next day, nasa Avenida Rizal na o nasa Cubao na, binibenta na mga copy ng pelikula mo. And so it's hard to prevent. But at the same time, we can only encourage the viewers themselves to alert the producers and the filmmakers na may mga pirated copies. So I think we're all in this together.
For KTX, I'm sure ang Upstream at ang TV Play, we are constantly evolving and improving all our anti-piracy measures. But I don't know kung gaano kabilis kami nag-evolve. Ganun din kagaling nag-evolve ang piracy. But one thing is very encouraging at palagi ko sinasabi sa mga producers, you don't want your content to be pirated. Yung accessible, make it accessible to everybody so that you don't encourage na yung pagkuha from pirates. After all, hindi naman bibili ng ticket yung mga mamimirata kung available. For example, for Game Boys the movie, amazing yung support ng fans because the fans themselves are very protective of the content. They do the reports. I mean, lahat ng reports ay para kayo may isang buong barangay na nagre-report ng pirated sites na kumuha ng pelikula. Even the concerts of SB19, etc., etc. Grabe sila na protective dun sa content. So I guess tama ang sinasabi, we have to rile up the supporters and the fans to protect the content because hindi naman kaya natin lahat because sabi nga natin, since time immemorial nandiyan na yan. But now we can empower the public to protect the content with us. Yun.
Yes.
I remember I was in a online festival and then nagulat na lang ako when I was watching my name appeared on the screen. I guess as I logged in and watched the film, biglang automatic my name appeared. So if I pirated, my name will appear. And then as a producer myself, I'm actually torn between keeping my IPs, keeping my films where nobody can watch, or if I release it online, wala na, mapapirate na siya. So anyway, it's a as you said, it's a community effort and everyone must join together and try to help at least reduce, if not eliminate, piracy. So aside from piracy, we mentioned technology. What are the other challenges in your platforms?
Pinakamahirap yung matatanda na bumibili ng tickets. It's hard to teach, but when nakapasok naman na sila, the first experience dumadali na. For example, when we were starting, ubos na yung oras namin kakasagot, but now pakonti na sila na pakonti, which means nasasanay na. So yun talaga, yun more than anything para sa amin na ilan lang naman kami sa KTX, 2 lang kami. So yun yung pinakamahirap when we were starting. At least dumadali naman na siya.
Do you also have any other challenges or other problems that you encountered with your sites?
Yung sa amin siguro tama naman si Gian, no? Yung user experience talaga for the older people. But then, syempre we're always evolving naman, trying to improve it, no? We did the Manny Pacquiao fight. Medyo, syempre naging mas easy for them to really log on, no? So unti-unti nag-i-improve naman, no? So maraming learnings, diba, as we go.
So there's a question here from the audience. So someone's interested, how do we get our films to be shown on your streaming services? Is there a certain criteria or do they need to apply? Like, for example, what do you do to curate the films that you show?
I guess for KTX, mas open kami kasi mas marami kaming hindi naman kami nagpo-produce talaga. KTX as a platform, hindi naman nagpo-produce. So, we're more open. Hindi katulad dati na kailangan i-pacing mo. At least, wala na yung ganung mentality. If you have a content na feeling naman namin, mapopromote namin at matutulungan namin at kaya namin i-push, then we're open to that. More than the quality or criteria para sa pelikula, ang tanong namin, kaya ba namin i-push? Kasi ayaw naman natin na ma-dishearten actor at balikan ka na, sorry, ito na nabenta natin. So more than the content, the criteria of the content, yung maitutulong namin sa content ang mas question. Para at the very least, kaya natin magsabi, ito lang expectations natin, ganito, ganyan. But if we go beyond that, thank you. Kung hindi, at the very least, we manage everybody's expectations.
For Upstream, wala namang criteria talaga na binabantayan dyan. No? I think what's really important is, kompleto yung pelikula mo, and you believe it's good, it's gonna work, then, I think you really have to promote it. Diba? I mean, we will do our part in promoting it, but then at the end of the day, the creator will have to promote it and see, to reach the farthest audience na talaga makukuha mo to watch your, it's just like, when you show it in cinemas, diba? It's very hard, even if you have a good content, no, if you don't promote it, wala rin naman makakaalam niyan, diba? So I think, yun ang pinaka-clue. One key is, dapat maganda content mo to create the word of mouth para kumalat siya. Second is, i-promote mo para for people to realize that there is a content like that's happening. No? I think tulong-tulong lang rin.
So to recap, it's good that you have a good content, and then promotion and word of mouth are also very important.
Yes, kasi
let's say, yeah.
Yeah, kasi honestly, dito sa streaming platform, Alemberg, mas mahaba yung runtime mo in terms of, yung visibility ng movie mo, di ba? Not like, you go to cinemas before where you're scared that you might stay there for just 2 to 3 days. Di ba? Kasi, yun na nga, because there's like, maybe less than 1,000 screens pa lang all over the Philippines, Ang maganda talaga sa streaming is, you show it there, pagaling mo, mag-word of mouth, you can still promote it, even if 1 month na siya nandun, you still promote it kasi there's a good word of mouth. Kasi kakalat siya. Diba? I think that's the key there. I think, kung pangit yung content mo, and you bring it here, diba? And then, people will not talk about it. Diba? If they talk about your movie, because, yun na nga, baka talagang hindi talaga siya okay. So, nandun rin yung responsibility sa filmmaker sa paggawa ng magandang content, diba, to put it on the platform. So, yun lang, in responsible filmmaking really is the key here. So
having a good content is very, very important. There's a question here because I know we have friends from ASEAN who are also watching. Is KTX and say Upstream exclusive only for local content? Are you open to international, particularly ASEAN content?
I'll let KTX answer first.
For KTX, we're talking to other producers from other countries in the region, so that they could show their movies. We had Cinemalaya on KTX months ago, so we've got a number of inquiries so that for
because
their
Cinemalaya had an ASEAN component, right?
Yes. So we had inquiries for their movies to be streamed via KTX. So we're very excited about it because we have fans. We on KTX because we have I1 TFC also. It's a different market. KTX is a different market, the more sophisticated market rather than the core market of ABS-CBN. So we have that market on KTX. So we're exploring. We're trying to expand our offerings on KTX to cater to to a bigger market, to more markets.
How about for Upstream?
For us, ang laki talaga responsibility ng filmmaker. When it comes to, trying to reach, saying to reach the Asian countries, you want to reach, other countries, for them to like the content, I mean, maybe even yung mga OFWs, siguro na gusto mo i-cater yung content mo to, are also very choosy. So, I always say na kailangan siguro, if you want to reach, the international audience, if that's the question, I think it's crucial for the content creator to create something na dapat may flavor siya na magustuhan din siya ng international market, because sometimes, out there, different ang culture. So kailangan talaga the content you make are something very universal for them to understand. Sometimes hindi natin pwede ipilit yun. So I think the whole responsibility is upon the filmmaker. Kasi yan rin yung journey that, my business partner Eric Mate and I actually did, through the years. We wanted to actually go out and be known, no? I mean, we tried different content, it doesn't work. We tried comedy, it didn't work. So, usually nag-work out there, yung mga thrillers, yung mga action, yung mga ganyan, di ba? We did My Boss, it's very successful in terms of international, right now, I think, yung pinakamalaki mark namin is dito sa Venice, di ba? So, I think, the filmmakers can, di ba? Parang right now, na-notice yung ginawa ni Eric Mati, yung produce namin na pelikula, which is On the Job 2, it won an award, diba? Not only that, diba? It earned praises, no? It earned praises from other directors out there, no? Imagine us, imagine the director of Parasite, or the director of Nomadland sitting on our table saying praises about the film that they just saw, no? Yung mga juror kasi sila, diba? So, of the film, and I hear them talking sila ni Eric, and they really appreciate things where they can relate to, no? So malaki ang responsibility talaga ng filmmaker. Hindi yun platform ang magdadala sa inyo sa international audience, but it's the content that you make that will reach all these audience abroad, no? Para at least ma-appreciate nila, para lumaki lalo ang market natin.
Is TBA Play geo-locked to the Philippines, or it's international?
It's global, it's international. But I just wanted to make a previous point, no? Na, right now, we're not open nga sa streaming sites namin, but I just want to say that we're open to co-producing with other Asian ASEAN countries and countries, so not limited. So if they have any scripts, any projects that they want to bring to us, we're definitely open to looking at it and considering it. So it's more than just about streaming sites, but seeing projects outside of the Philippines. Okay.
So is KTX and Upstream, or maybe reality? I don't know if how closely tied up to reality and ABS-CBN films. Are you also into co-producing both either local or international co-productions?
Yeah, for us, and if I should talk for reality, I mean, for reality, we've done just that already. We've recently finished a movie with Creative Group 8 where we shot 95% of the movie. It starred Bella Padilla, so nandun yung mga partnerships namin, di ba? We've done a movie with Braun Entertainment, in the US, and sa Canada, which actually we did watchlist, so nagkakaroon talaga ng mga collaborative efforts na, to actually expand on that, and we're doing just that already. So I think time will come where I think more creators from the Philippines will do the same na rin, and trying to collaborate with others, international media companies abroad.
How about for KTX? Have you produced your own?
KTX, not yet, but for ABS-CBN films, well, we the dream is always to go international, and there have been many attempts to do it. Yellow Rose, etc., Almost Paradise. It's always been in the horizon for ABS-CBN and ABS-CBN films. So we continue to, I guess, them. I'm not the producer, unlike Dondon and TBA, but it has always been a part of the pipeline for ABS and ABS-CBN films. So I don't know if the constraints of many things that we're facing right now, we could do that. But always we're looking for partners to do these projects with.
And then, let's say, for example, if I'm an independent producer and I'm not really attached to any big network or production company, and I have a content, how can they bring that to you? Or even for thing that you mentioned, you're accepting like projects. How can they come to you with their either film already, which is done, or projects that they want to pitch to you?
Well, yeah, they can connect. They can go to our website. Our head of development is Margie Navarro. So you can connect with her. I mean, starting with her, we look at the script, we look at the project, and from there, obviously, the executive committee will look at it on the basis of what is recommended. In terms of the, what the script's about, the budget, and everything, because a lot has to be considered. So, ganun lang, simple lang naman. I mean, we're not like a big entity, so madali kaming maabot.
How about for reality or Dondon for Upstream? Let's say because I was very surprised that somebody from Upstream wrote to us about a documentary that we're doing. I was just so surprised na parang Upstream knew about this documentary. But and then how about for the others? How do they get in touch with you with Upstream to show their films?
Well, for us, uh, all you have to do is just email us and start communicating and looking at their content. No? I mean, we can be contacted through info@reality.com.ph or info@upstream.ph. No? So we take a look at all naman. No? I mean, everyone started as someone who dreamt of just doing even small contents first, and then little by little naman you really have to connect, synergizing with maybe bigger companies. We don't consider ourselves big naman. No? We want to always work and synergize with anyone that has a good idea that we can actually put into to make it into a good content. No, I think we think that way. We want to open the doors for creative content creators to actually come forward. Siguro right now, ang sinasabi ko nga, I think for us is maganda talaga ma-realize ng mga Filipino creators na kaya talaga to go abroad and be international, no, in terms of producing stuff. Kasi Eric and I recently did it in Venice, napansin tayo, and we've been doing that, di ba? So kaya, let's just all work together and producing the right content that we think can resonate internationally para mapansin nila.
So that's info@upstream.ph.
Yes.
Okay. And then for TBA, Marisa Navarro, and they can get her contact at the TBA at the TBA's website, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
TBA.
And then, sorry.
Yeah, just go to tba.ph and connect. Meron din ganun na parang info at tba. But the name of the person to connect with is Margie Navarro.
Sorry, Margie Navarro. Okay. And for Gian, for KTX?
Well, for KTX, it's either we come to the producers to ask for their content. Mahilig kami ganon. So, wag kayo magugulat. We just be open pag nag-message ako. Or they can write to ask@ktx.ph. So, we're very much open. And treat KTX as your platform. Maski na bata, maski na schools, theater productions, we basically accommodate them. And we want them, KTX.
So, a lot have been saying that cinema is dead, and the pandemic has just accelerated its demise. No, and we actually have a question from the audience, like with the expectation that at some point cinemas will slowly. Sorry, that's not the question. So how do you think what are your thoughts about this? That we already started this discussion with Ting saying that some of the films from TBA has to be seen on the big screen. But do you think cinema is dying and the pandemic just accelerated it?
Should I answer that first. Kasi yun nga, no, going back to what I previously, it's back and alive. I mean, ang lalaki ng gross ng mga pelikula doon sa US, no? And much of it is because nga majority of their population have been vaccinated, no? Ang mga Pinoy sa akin, they would do watch movies sa sinehan because ano tayo, there's a big social component. Unang-una, dating. Gusto ng mga tao nagde-date, manonood ng sine, tapos kakain sa labas, and just mall, and many of our cinemas are located sa mall. So pagpunta sa mall ng mga taong yan, manunood ng sine yan at kakain sa labas. Because that's how they spend their weekend. Kasi hindi naman ng mga tao dito. No? I think the masa, they would just want to enjoy themselves, whether pamilya sila na manonood sa linggo ng pelikula or magde-date sila to watch a movie. No? I think that will make a comeback. Once it's a function of how soon many of us can get vaccinated. So, yun ang feeling ko. But at the same time, they can coexist streaming sites. I think there's not necessarily a contradiction, na streaming sites na hindi sila manulog at sina. I really think it's in a healthy way.
On my side, no, parang cinemas will never die. And I don't wanna live to that day that I'll see it die. Di ba? Kasi I don't wanna see it die. In fact, even if we stream naman available, it's just right now adding a choice for the audience, no, to actually see where they wanna go. Di ba? Dapat siguro kahit bumalik yung cinemas, they shouldn't look at streaming as a competition, but then, I think that choice should be the audience now if they're comfortable going back to the cinemas or just watching it at the beauty of their homes. Diba? I think lahat yun binibigyan natin ng choice sa audience later on. No? Nakakalungkot lang talaga right now, syempre, when you go to other countries, si Bing, no, talagang balik na ang cinemas. Siguro akin dapat ibato na lang natin sa gobyerno. Kailan ba matatapos to? Itong pandemic dito sa Pilipinas. Siguro right now, it's in their hands eh. Diba? And right now, parang, syempre, if you ask me, diba, I hope they do something about it. They do it right na. Diba? I don't have the answers. Kaya sila nakaupo dyan, diba? They have the answers to it. We don't know when it's gonna come back, but then hopefully they get their act together, diba, and make it happen, no, para at least bumalik na ang cinemas again.
Grabe, no? If you've been to an international film festival now, you feel that there's no COVID.
Wala talaga. I came from Italy, and you can even see the people walking in the streets without masks already.
Yeah.
Mas lalong walang shield, baka pagtawanan ka. If you know what I mean, So it's really crazy. It's just wonderful to be seeing what's happening out there. I mean, comparing it to what's happening here. Medyo, ewan ko, diba? I just hope, government gets their act together and fixes this problem right away.
How about for you, Gian? What do you think? Yeah.
For KTX naman, the fact that we're still talking about cinemas being dead or is dying is a confirmation that we all miss going to the cinemas. So it's basically a question of it's not dying unless someone kills it by pagpapabaya ng ibang tao. Kasi wala naman, we're doing our best. But if someone would let it be killed, 'di ba? We basically have to rally for cinemas. Pero tama rin naman, at the end of the day, ang ganda naman na nangyari with the pandemic, nagkaroon ng choice yung tao. How do you want to present the content, to consume the content? And ang ganda pa rin dito ay sa streaming, magiging mas malinaw kung ano ang difference ng sinehan pagbalik. Kasi syempre nag-streaming ka for the longest time and bumalik ka sa sinehan. That's the difference. You couldn't replicate it. So may choice ka lang. Itong pelikula to, sige, pwede na dito yan. Ganito kasi nagtitipid ako. Pero para dito sa pelikulang to, pang anniversary to pang date to We just open the options to the people. Yun naman talaga. And habang may maganda tayong pelikula na worth na pagkagastusan ng 5 ticket for the entire family at mag-popcorn at bumiyahe, then we're safe. Waiting for our comeback.
So there's a question here from the audience, and I think the US is slowly shifting into some sort of a hybrid. And I've noticed a lot of the film festivals are also doing this. No, what with that? No, how do you possibly see some sort of a hybrid with exhibiting content in your platform at the same time in cinemas when eventually our government had figured out how to deal with the pandemic?
Mauna na ako kasi ako yung hindi producer. Hindi naman ako producer. Producer sila. Siguro well, before the pandemic, no one would have thought na ang streaming ay magiging first window. Syempre, we all don't know kung ano mangyayari, window 1 or window 2 ba? O mamalit na mas shorter window in between the movie, cinema, and the streaming. But again, we have to make a decision kasi again, pag tinatago mo yung content mo, mas lalong nananalo yung pirata. So yun lang naman yung tanong ko kasi once it's not accessible, you encourage piracy. Yun ang feeling ko kasi pag nagtatago ka ng content, lumalabas somewhere else, na libre pa. So, willing naman to buy. Nagkakaroon ng excuse, for example, manonood na lang pirate kasi hindi naman available. For example, meron tayong pelikula na hindi available abroad. Taga-abroad yung OFW, hindi available. Mamimirata. Kasi, hindi naman accessible sa amin. Willing naman ako bumayad, hindi naman pwede. So, yung ganon. So, the producers naman.
Yeah. Pagdating naman dyan, I think it's happening sa ibang mundo na, especially sa how they introduced a pivot window na, which actually is like a premium video on demand. No? So halos, they go side by side na with the theater, same day and date, napapalabas, or sometimes there's just a delay of maybe 2 weeks. Diba? So then it's being accepted na, diba? In Hollywood. No? So I guess in the Philippines, maybe that can be a new normal. No? So like I said, I think it's right now, give the choice to the audience. Sana at least, with that, at least the producer would have a bigger chance of, ang importante dyan, we should also protect the movie producers using the content, diba? By giving them all these options, diba? Parang gives them more leverage in trying to recoup the investment they put into the content. No? So I think mangyayari na rin yan soon, even for us. No?
Yes, it's possible for it to coexist to the benefit of both the audience and to the producers also. It's just a matter of, but we're doing it now, even with the Cinema 76, and then suddenly making it available on TBA Play or on or the YouTube channel. So we kind of situation. It has to vary from time to time and from film title to film title. So ganun lang. But I think eventually that's where we're all headed. Kasi, especially for the older generation of which I'm included, cinemas, and then at the same time, the younger ones, gusto nila sa computer nila or sa cellphone lang. So at some point, we have to meet somewhere in the middle and for everyone.
Okay, so maybe is there any more audience questions out there before we wrap up the session? I think we've covered quite a bit, quite a bit already from what the platform does and how they choose the films and how they create this environment or this experience for their audiences, and it's very encouraging to hear that Fangirl and Cleaners, which are both very independent films that are actually doing quite well on the sites. It's very encouraging for us independent filmmakers. So we're a little ahead of schedule, and I I think there are not that many questions anymore from the audience. So perhaps I guess to wrap up, if there's no additional question, I would like to ask, and I would like to end this session on a more inspirational note. So given the problems caused by the pandemic, how do you think Filipino filmmakers can weather the storm? Like, what's your advice, especially for young independent filmmakers?
I'll go first.
Sige.
So for me, I think my advice to the Filipino makers is, keep dreaming, keep creating. Right now you are in a pandemic, but that won't stop you from thinking of projects, creating, and collaborating with other creators to make it happen for you. No, I think it's crucial right now that you double the effort, especially now. No, don't give up on your dreams. I think that's a crucial thing. No, I think if you're passionate enough to push yourself, diba, I think you'll make it. Diba? There's a bigger chance that you'll make it. So I'm just encouraging all the young ones out there to keep dreaming and make it happen.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Apart from dreaming, yes, as you said, make it happen. Take the necessary steps to ensure that you're headed towards the dream and realizing it. No, nandito kaming, well, including Alemberg, Gian, Dondon. We're here, no, so we're just telling all of you, keep those dreams alive and make them happen. And I'm sure lahat naman kami nako-contact. As I said, we're just waiting to hear from people locally, globally, kung saan man mga Pinoy, whatever. Because we're all storytellers, whether it's Gian, si Dondon, ikaw, Alem, we can't wait to tell these stories to everyone. So yun lang naman. So let's get going and, wishing everyone blessings.
I guess for KTX, basically to every member of the industry, is basically we all need each other. The platforms need you for your content, and we may help you with you fulfilling your dreams, and basically making sure that our industry wouldn't die. So we work together, we continue to inspire each other, create, and we provide a platform for you to basically show your work to the entire world. So we hope to work with everybody, and we hope to create a dent always in our stories and with our platforms. Thank you.
So
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Dondon. Thank you, Gian. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
I
And
guess
just putting in the words, sorry, kasi nga, well, I want to thank obviously the people behind TBA, Fernando Ortigas, Ed Rocha, and also Daphne Chuno, and just want to give them so much credit for keeping things going sa TBA. So thank you to them, and thank you to all of you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for a very wonderful session, Sir Gian, Sir Dondon, and Sir Vincent. And of course, thank you to our moderator, Sir Alemberg. I am certain that our audience learned a lot from this session. Building strategies for film exhibition indeed is necessary to showcase the projects of our filmmakers. We would also like to thank our participants for joining us here today. Please let us know your thoughts about our session by answering our ific survey form that is linked in our chat box. Again, from the bottom of our hearts, we would like to thank all of our speakers, panelists, and moderators for this year's International Film Industry Conference. We would also like to thank our dear audience who joined us from the 1st to the 18th session of this year's ific. We hope that you will be able to use all of your learnings to keep your passion for producing great content and stories. Thank you so much and keep safe, everyone. And again, this has been the International Film Industry Conference Online 2021. See you all next year.
Thank you very much to our panelists and moderators for a very engaging discussion. Thank you to our dear audience as well for tuning in. That ends our sessions for International Film Industry Conference Online 2021. We thank you for being with us in these trying times as we continue to tell more stories. We would like to thank you all for your support. We hope for everyone's safety, and we will see you at ific 2022. International Film Industry Conference Online 2021 is presented by Film Development Council of the Philippines, in partnership with Full Circle Lab Philippines, ASEAN Rock Film Partnership, supported by International Film Commission Partners, Film Philippines Office, Korean Film Council, National Film Development Corporation Malaysia, Singapore Film Commission, and the National Federation of Motion Pictures and Contents Associations, Thailand. International partners, Cannes Next of Marché du Film Festival de Cannes, Hubert Balls of International Film Festival Rotterdam, Netflix, Purin Pictures, ific Lab, Southeast Asia Pacific Audiovisual Archives Association, Torino Film Lab. Local partners, ABS-CBN Film Restoration Sagip Pelikula, KTX, Philippine Film Archive, TBA Play and TBA Studios, Upstream PH, Viva Communications Inc., Livestream partner, Digital IC3 Productions.